Imagine a world where every single volcano on Earth erupted at the same time, from massive mountains belching fire and lava to deep underwater eruptions that would reshape the seafloor. This is what would happen if all of Earth's volcanoes erupted together in one cataclysmic event. It's a scenario straight out of a nightmare, but what would it really be like? The consequences of every volcano erupting at once would be devastating, potentially leading to mass extinction, reshaping continents, and even triggering a global climate catastrophe. Volcanoes are scattered across the Earth, from the towering giants in the Pacific Ring of Fire to the volcanoes hidden beneath the oceans. There are over 1,500 active volcanoes on land and many more beneath the sea, which all erupt at different times and at different scales. But what if they all erupted together? To understand the consequences, we first need to look at the sheer power of volcanic eruptions. When volcanoes erupt, they don't just release lava and ash, they can trigger landslides, tsunamis, and even cause massive plumes of volcanic gases to spread across the atmosphere. The largest eruptions in history have changed the course of civilizations, even bringing about mini ice ages. So what would happen if all these volcanoes erupted at once? Let's first look at the immediate effects. Massive lava flows would sweep through nearby cities and villages, destroying everything in their path. Entire islands could disappear, buried under molten rock. The heat from so many simultaneous eruptions would cause wildfires to break out across the globe. But that's just the start. The real danger comes from the enormous ash clouds that would be shot into the atmosphere. Volcanic ash is made of tiny, jagged particles of rock and glass. When it's ejected into the atmosphere, it can cover entire regions, causing buildings to collapse under the weight and making the air unbreathable. If all the volcanoes erupted at the same time, billions of tons of ash would be thrown into the stratosphere. It would block out sunlight, plunging the world into darkness. Without sunlight, photosynthesis would stop, and crops would die. This could trigger a global famine. The eruption of every volcano wouldn't just affect the land, it would also have massive consequences for our oceans. Underwater volcanoes, which are largely hidden from view, would erupt as well, releasing toxic gases into the water and disrupting marine ecosystems. Massive underwater eruptions would also cause tsunamis that could devastate coastal cities. The Pacific, Atlantic, and Indian Oceans would all experience catastrophic waves. These tsunamis would travel thousands of kilometers, obliterating everything in their path. Coastal regions around the world would face destruction on a scale we've never seen before. Now let's consider the long-term effects. With so much volcanic ash and sulfur dioxide in the atmosphere, we could see a phenomenon known as volcanic winter. A volcanic winter occurs when ash and gases in the atmosphere block the sun's rays, causing global temperatures to plummet. If all volcanoes erupted at once, the Earth's temperature could drop by several degrees in just a matter of months. The last time a volcanic winter occurred was in the year 1816, after the eruption of Mount Tambora. It caused what's known as the year without a summer, where snow fell in June and crops failed across Europe and North America. But this time, with every volcano erupting, the effects would be far worse. Without sunlight, plants wouldn't be able to grow. That means not only would crops fail, but entire ecosystems would collapse. Animals that rely on plants for food would die out, and the predators that rely on those animals would follow. Human civilization would also be at risk. Famine, extreme weather, and collapsing ecosystems would make survival incredibly difficult. We'd be living in a post-apocalyptic world. Could humanity survive this? It's possible, but the world as we know it would be forever changed. Entire continents might be reshaped, species driven to extinction, and human civilization would face unprecedented challenges. The planet would go dark for years, maybe even decades. But what if we could stop these eruptions before they happen? This is What If. And next time, we'll explore what would happen if we could prevent volcanic eruptions altogether.